Welcome back to the McKinney Minute. We are joined again by Shelby Hamilton of Community Impact, who's going to go over a couple of stories. Happy holidays. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. It's already December. Here we go.
End of the year.
We've got a lot of stuff to talk about.
We do.
All right, so let's get to probably one of the most talked about stories happening in our community right now. We talked a little bit about this last month, and there's been more updates since then. As most people know, McKinney ISD, the board did vote to close or repurpose, I guess was the better word, 3 elementary schools. This is really an emotional issue for a lot of people. If you've watched school board meetings or talked to people or been on social media. But Shelby, sometimes when things get emotional, facts get lost. So can you give us what happened? How did the school board come to this conclusion, and where are we now with those decisions?
Absolutely. So this process has been ongoing for a couple of months now, but even prior to that, previous committees have recommended or concluded that this might be an eventual, reality for the district based on both student population, growth decline in various areas, and then also, revenue and budget outcomes. So now that this process is underway, it's been underway for about 2 months since this Educational Facilities Alignment Committee has began meeting. And while it is overall a 4-month process, the process was decided that they had to select the schools affected by closures and repurposing prior to the rezoning portion of the process. So that's why the community saw that kind of 1.5, 2 months period before the elementaries were selected, and then now they are in that rezoning portion of the committee process. So in that 1.5, 2-ish months, the committee met multiple times, I believe in like 3 or 4 times, prior to bringing the recommendation to the board in early November. When they brought the recommendation to the board, they obviously chose Wolford, McNeil, and Eddins Elementaries for closure and repurposing effective the 26-27 school year. And those facilities, obviously, a number of parents from those communities came out, spoke both in opposition to the closures as well as concerns about the process and how it got there. And that committee that chose it, which was a 39-parent committee made up of parents from across the district. So now that same committee is meeting to decide rezoning for elementary, middle, and high school levels, and that is both to accommodate the school closures and repurposing that's happening in that southwest area, but also some student population growth that is expected kind of in this northeast area that's got a couple campuses that in the next few years without rezoning could be over capacity. So we're expected to hear that decision at a December 15th meeting of the school board to see what they're going to do there. There is another community input meeting. It was initially scheduled for December 2nd. This committee has requested additional meeting time. So the committee is going to meet December 2nd. The community input meeting has been moved to December 4th. So the community will have another opportunity to go and give input on this process.
What were some of the considerations of choosing those 3 schools? And what's the scenario? What were the facts around that?
Absolutely. There were various kind of metrics that the committee was given to consider. A lot of data was presented to them. The number kind of 1 and 2 that are talked about most frequently were building capacity, functional capacity, and then also projected student populations at these 2 facilities. But there were other considerations as far as, age of the building, facility condition, also, building like efficiency, how much are they using the building, what is the current student population, as well as a couple other factors. But ultimately, the committee's recommendations were intended to be based off of kind of that set of metrics that they were given.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked, we had some other stories about some of the budgeting challenges that all of the school districts across the state of Texas are facing right now with a shortage of state funding coming into our districts. And so they really do have to look at where they're spending their dollars and how efficiently are they spending their dollars.
Absolutely.
And with shifting student populations, it can be a challenge in trying to figure out the best way to make sure that they are able to pay for and educate our kids. So, but yes, it's always a very emotional time when you're talking about where your kids are going to school. So, all right, well, let's go to some happier news.
Sure.
McKinney is going to celebrate the reopening of Town Lake Recreation Center in December. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's a really interesting renovation project. They've expanded the rec center. It's got some new spaces, namely kind of a new conference room, just some expanded internal spaces, and that is reopening December 3rd. So patrons can once again go enjoy the full capacity of that space, the new capacity of that space. Along with that, the town is debuting the Town Lake Light Walk, which is this new kind of fantastically lit trail throughout the park that has some really interesting, colorful lighting. So for our nature fans, you can go take a walk on this fun new trail.
Well, it's fun and something festive for the season too. Take the family out,
Absolutely.
have some hot chocolate, and
Yes,
go on a walk. Okay, this is pretty interesting. So, Walmart, I understand, debuted a partnership with Zipline Drone Delivery.
yes.
So now I can get my groceries dropped off at my house?
Maybe, yes.
Okay.
So Walmart is partnering with a company called Zipline. They have some drone delivery technology, and they are bringing it to DFW through an expansion. They have selected a Walmart in East McKinney, the one on Redbud, for a drone delivery kind of like a station. And that went through some city council processes, so we've heard about this before, but now it is complete, it is operational, they debuted it, and it can deliver groceries from that Walmart. The goal radius is within 10 miles of that Walmart. They aren't up to that distance just yet. I think they're starting at about 2 miles and it expands out eventually. But they will deliver, a drone-sized package of groceries at your front door, really anything from Walmart. And they're able to kind of load up those drones. Has a really interesting kind of like drone inside a drone technology where it comes down on a tether as it's flying. It's very interesting. And it can deliver within a 3-foot radius to the customer's kind of like order area.
Okay.
Yes, that is now live at a Walmart in East McKinney.
So do you just download the Zip app?
You can order it from Walmart through
Walmart. Okay,
through
so
Walmart's
through Walmart.
app or Walmart online. Yeah.
Okay.
And if it's eligible in the delivery radius and based on the size of the order,
Okay.
can be delivered via drone.
All right. We always talk about transportation because we need more roads and fixing our older roads. So, big story. Tell us about the Outer Loop and the last extension that opened.
Yeah, so the Outer Loop is quite a big project around kind of the northern and eastern borders of Collin County. Been underway for some time. It's going to be underway for much more time. But as the county builds the road into what will eventually be a pretty large freeway, it is being built in kind of sections around the county. They're building the access roads first. But those roads will be, accessible as they build the freeway. So you'll basically kind of have this 2-lane section creating the loop until it's completely built out. Well, one of those portions was recently completed. It's connecting from the Salina area to about Dallas North Tollway area in Salina, all the way through kind of like the North McKinney, north of McKinney, to 75 in Melissa. So we now have quite a, I think it's about a 9-mile stretch east-west connector in the northern portion of the county for some east-west connectivity. And that story just took off. It got about 25,000 views in 3 days. So I'm sure that road is going to get highly traveled now that it is open to the public.
Yeah. Well, we talked about population shifts going north. You've got to build the infrastructure. So not just schools, but also roads.
Absolutely.
Okay. So this is one that's a little bit near and dear to our heart, the McKinney Chamber. You're publishing a story about McKinney seeing a sales tax boost from packaged liquor stores. So talk about that.
Yeah, so the packaged liquor election was just over 3 years ago now, and me and my team took a look at kind of the progress since then. What has been done? What has been the effect to the city?
Okay.
So 25 stores have opened. There's been a couple more permits issued, some revoked. But in that, over $800,000 has been collected by the city in sales tax revenue. So it has brought back some of the sales tax that it was projected. It is adding additional businesses. Even more businesses are slated. There's a second spec store coming. So we talked
breaking news.
yeah, coming to Custer area.
Okay.
So they talked to a couple liquor store owners that said that the landscape of the kind of sales in the community have been going well, and that they're excited to see what the future looks like.
Yeah.
I know y'all advocated for that.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about how y'all have seen it go.
We're glad to see the results of this. The chamber was the lead in this initiative to get packaged liquor stores, make it to where people can purchase packaged liquor in McKinney. Prior to that, only beer and wine sales were allowed, or going to a restaurant, right, that had a license. And we saw sales tax dollars going to places like Plano and Allen and Anna, and we wanted to bring those sales tax dollars back here so that it would work for our community, and we're seeing that happen. Yeah. I think that's really great that they're opening one on Custer, because as we know, Frisco doesn't have packaged liquor stores, so we might be able to bring some Frisco residents in to spend their dollars here in McKinney. That just goes again to helping fund things like police and fire and parks, and McKinney Economic Development Corporation and Community Development Corporation, and all the things that we love about our community. So it's exciting to see something like come full circle to that.
Yeah,
so that's
absolutely.
awesome. All right, so last but not least, I know this has been a longer McKinney Minute, but there's so many things going on, including, man, there's a lot of new stores opening, and tell us about that.
I picked just a few to talk about, but there are so many new businesses. New restaurants has been a big trend recently.
We love that.
Yes, absolutely. So kind of on that 380 corridor, 88 BaoBao opened recently. In that same shopping center, you have Cheba Hut, toasted sandwiches. Just down the street, Hopdoddy Burger Bar opened in November in that West Grove area, adding to their restaurants out there. And then we also had Kimiya Japanese Cuisine open off of 75 in the former Denny's building. That is all you can eat sushi, as well as other Japanese cuisine. So interesting new restaurant there. Talking about businesses, that same Walmart that got a zip line, that has that zip line drone delivery, also now has a new 16 pump gas station. So if you need some gas in East McKinney, there's a new station for you. Coming soon, there's a new Bread Zeppelin location coming to McKinney. That's off of Custer as well. And then also just an interesting business update, Medical City McKinney celebrated the topping out of their expansion project. It's a $142 million expansion that is still underway, and will soon add some new capacity and beds to the hospital.
That's awesome. Yeah. And love the diversity of food choices that we have at McKinney.
Many new restaurants.
This is awesome. Well, thank you as always, Shelby. Appreciate you keeping the ear to the ground and keeping us informed on all the things that are happening in McKinney. And as always, all of the things we talked about, there are links below, so check below so you can read more about all of the things that we discussed, some of the headlines. And we'll see you next year.